Hey everybody, it's Jason from AutoCityImports.com. You can find me on club4g.org or c4gnation.com under the username of Orange Demon. You can also find me on multiple other Mitsubishi platform forums, again under the name of Orange Demon. Today we're going to do an injector removal and installation on a 6G75 engine. So that's the 6-cylinder Eclipse. You can also find this engine in the Gallants. The rally arcs are the exact same engine. The regular Gallant 6-cylinders have non-Mytec heads, but it's exactly the same. As far as what we're doing today. We're also going to do a spark plug change because the beginning of both of these processes are exactly the same. So whether you're watching the video for the injector removal installation or the spark plug removal and installation, the beginning of these videos are going to be exactly the same. And what we're doing today is we're going to upgrade the 302 stock injectors to a 550cc injector so this engine can get ready for some forced induction. And then we're just going to show you the spark plugs because we've already pretty much got it done anyway. So we're going to show you how to do that too. So let's get started, guys. Alright, so the first part of this is going to take off this little plastic cover over top your plenum. You're going to have three 10mm bolts. You can also use a Phillips head screwdriver. I've already removed them because I've already changed them out for some Allen key heads. When you take this off, you want to be careful, especially if you haven't taken it off that many times. It's in the rubber grommet, and if you pull too hard or the wrong way, you can crack it. So you want to grab it from the back and just ease it up, and it'll pop right out. Mine's a little easier because I've done it so many times, but it'll just come up and you take it off there, which gains you access to the front three spark plugs as well as the front injector bank, and then your bolts to take off your intake plenum. So that's step one. Alright, so step two, as you can see here, there's a lot of bolts that we uncovered by taking off that plenum cover. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove the stock wiring harness from the area that we need to get this intake plenum off. We're going to start in the back here with the map sensor, which is on the top left of your bank here. That is a 8mm, two 8mm bolts. And that will come out. It's obviously sealed in there with a rubber grommet, but just be careful with it and it'll come right out. These bolts are ramming along. We got one. Two, and those come out. I'm going to put them over here in my little magnetic tray so we don't lose them. And then you just pull straight up on this and it comes right out. So that's done. And then all of these here will be 10mm bolts on you, on your car. So you want to have a 10mm ready. I've already changed mine out again for Allen's. So the stock wiring harness runs in the back here, and it'll have two 10mm bolts on this little bracket here that you can take out. There's one and two, and that removes that bracket. You can also pinch the back of these little connectors here and just take the wiring harness off the bracket itself, whatever you feel is easier for you. Then we have these are actually for your injectors from the wiring harness, and you have two 10mm bolts that go this way into the plenum that you can take out, or you can actually just remove these by pinching them and pulling them forward. And well, that one actually came all the way out without even coming unplugged because of the way I have this set up. But you take them apart and then you can just pull them off and get them out of the way, which I guess I'll do that. So you just take it off, and then there's a little dot in here that you can put a pick in, push down, and they'll let you pull this out so you can actually get it completely out of the way. And you don't really have to remember, which plug this went into because they're all different shapes and colors. Take that one out. Take this one out. So that frees up all that. And then you will take this 10mm out. Alright, so once you get the second one removed, this will just fall off just like that, and now it's out of your way. Just push that off to the side. You'll have another 10 millimeter right here that you take off. One here. And one right next to it here. Alright, and then we have just one more right here, and that'll free most of that up for you. Alright, so that one's out, and now we can actually pull this entire harness out of the way so we can access all of these bolts and pull this out without any issue. While you're doing this, you can take this PCV valve off here. It's not even has a clip to keep it on. It's just pressurized in there. You can pull it right off. Take it right off, and you take that off, and that'll be one more thing done. And now we're going to do this side, which is the throttle body and the EGR stuff back here. Alright, so now we're going to do the right side, and as you can see, I've already removed the cold air intake. I did that because everyone's going to have a different intake, whether it's the stock intake, cold air intake, InGen, Fujita, DC, you know, whatever you may have. So I just removed that already. You can see that I have the MAF plug here, the MAF sensor plug here, a vacuum line that plugged into the intake here, as well as the throttle body plug here. I've already removed those and they're out of the way. Once you do that, you really don't have to take the throttle body off, as long as you don't have, if you've already done the throttle body bypass as I have, you don't have to take the throttle body off, or you can just remove those hoses anyway, do the throttle body bypass right now, and you can actually leave this throttle body on there because it's not going to hurt anything. The next step is going to be grabbing your 12 millimeter socket, and pretty much all the bolts from now on are going to be 12 millimeter. What we have here is right below the throttle body, we have one 12 millimeter that we'll have to get. And then we're going to work on the back of the intake manifold, which is the right thing. So when you look in the back, you'll have it. Alright, so go ahead and we remove the upper plenum for the intake manifold. And because we can't really show you because it's such a tight area, I'm going to show you with it off what the bolts are that you need to take off on the back of the unit. You have a 12 millimeter here and a 12 millimeter here that's bracketed in, that actually holds this in there, as well as two 12 millimeter nuts for the EGR valve here that you take off, and that'll come off. Over here, you have another 12 millimeter nut that's right here, if you can see that. So you need to remove that one, and that'll get rid of all the bolts that actually hold this into place in the rear. There's also a line here that you want to unclip from here so it'll fall off, as well as a little blue or black cylinder here that you punch a screwdriver in right here and remove it, and the line connects up here and this plug here. So you remove those and that'll get rid of all of that, and then you have one plug here. You remove that plug and you can leave all the rest on, and then you go to the front where you have 7 bolts, and this is the passenger side of the car here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now they're all pretty much different lengths. You have 3 different lengths of bolts, so I would recommend before you take them out, label the top of them with a Sharpie marker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, so you know how to put them back in, which ones go where. So I'd recommend doing that. You take those out, and then you just pull up. So if this is sitting in the engine like this, you pull up and out, because this is going to stop you from pulling it out straight out. You're just going to have to work these out little by little, and then they'll come out, and your upper intake plenum is now out of the car. Alright, so now that we've removed the upper intake plenum, this is how your engine's going to look on the rear bank here. We've already removed the wiring harness that goes to the injectors and the coil packs, and this is where things change up. So for the spark plug removal and replacement, you have your rear coils right here, and then your front coils, which aren't pictured on the screen, which you can already see when you take off the first cover anyway. This is how you get to your rear coil packs, and all you do is you take this 10mm bolt out and you pull up, and this is your entire coil pack here. You stick a long extension with a spark plug socket down there, you take it out and you replace it and you put it right back. That's the entire process for the spark plug change. So if you know how to do the fronts, it's exactly the same with the rears. Just unplug the coil pack from the wiring harness, take off the 10mm bolt, and remove the spark plug and replace it. So that is the spark plug change on the 6G75 engine.